Determination and self-discipline is the same thing. One is goal-oriented, one is task-oriented. But behind our determination and your self-discipline, there must be an attachment. If you're not attached to your goal, if you're not attached to your task, you will not be able to keep going. When we say attachment, most people have a negative impression. When we say determination or self-discipline, most people have a positive impression. This is your conceptual mind. Your conceptual mind has already formed since you were young. So you have been brainwashed to think in this particular manner. In fact, your determination and self-discipline are both attachment. If you don't have this grasping, you don't have this attachment, you will not be so determined to complete something, or you don't have the self-discipline to do the task that you want to do every day. There is already attachment. If let's say I like to kill people, I'm determined to kill people. Is determination good or bad? You know, there are people who are very stubborn. We call them, they are very determined. When we say determination, usually is in relation to a goal. We are very determined. Just now I make the example. I'm very determined to become Olympic gold medalist. So you have a goal, you are very determined to do something. When we say self-discipline, usually is task-oriented. You are very self-determined to brush your teeth every day, to wash your clothes every day, to do things. So irrespective, determination and self-discipline is the same thing. One is goal-oriented, one is task-oriented. But behind our determination and your self-discipline, there must be an attachment. If you're not attached to your goal, if you're not attached to your task, you will not be able to keep going. So, attachment is neither good nor bad. Determination and self-discipline comes from a part of our sixth consciousness called volition, the will to do things. Behind the sixth consciousness, there is an attachment. This attachment will be the driving force for you to keep going in your determination or your self-discipline. Behind your determination and self-discipline, there must be some kind of attachment. Attachment finally comes from I-ness. That I-ness comes from your seventh consciousness. It's behind your sixth consciousness. And that is the seed of your determination, the seed of your self-discipline. For now, we do not need to deny your attachment. We want to go beyond your attachment. So to go beyond your attachment, we are not denying attachment. Attachment can be good, can be bad. It's both. It's neither good, it's neither bad. Therefore, when we talk about non-attachment, is you are going beyond your attachment. So when we are practicing our meditation, we need determination. We need self-discipline. Correct? That is attachment. And yet, we need to be non-attached and non-action. Isn't that in conflict? It's very conflicting, but it is not, because we are going beyond attachment. So we do not deny that attachment. Therefore, we can have determination. We can have self-discipline. It's just we are not governed by them. We are not dictated by our attachment. We recognize our attachment. We know that is attachment. We use the attachment, but I'm not governed by them. I'm going beyond my own attachment. So when we say non-attachment, non-action, students would challenge me. Teacher, you say don't be attached, no attachment. So no need to practice anymore. Why so attached? No need to be self-disciplined. Why so attached? That means I'm attached to this. No attachment. That is not what it means. How we can see whether we are beyond attachment? Attachment is a habitual tendency. If you are governed by your own habitual tendency, like for example, you are into materialistic things. So you are working very hard in order to afford material things until your health also go down the hill. That is definitely not good for us. And we are doing that. Your habitual tendency is the boss of you. So you are not free from your own habitual tendency. When you are free from habitual tendency, you can use habitual tendency and you are the boss, not habitual tendency. Where if we want to be able to go beyond our own attachment or the habitual tendency, we need to recognize our own habitual tendency. Because the habitual tendency is not the sixth consciousness, but come from the seventh consciousness. It is very deep and it's very subtle. So it's not easy for you to be able to recognize your own habitual tendency. Sometimes we make decisions that we think that we're making a logical decision. We are thinking this is a decision that we want to do, etc. But in effect, we are driven by our own habitual tendency without us knowing. So the ability to be able to recognize your habitual tendency comes from your meditation practice, whether you can calm your mind down. If you can stay in awareness for long enough, you can recognize your own habitual tendency. When you can recognize your own habitual tendency, that habitual tendency will start to lose its power over you. And we will gradually become the boss of ourselves instead of the other way around.